Hey all, I just want to share some pretty big news for me. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while and it's just been on the back burner. But I'm excited to announce this now. I'm starting a podcast and I just want to tell you the gist of it. It's called Disruption in 10. Why? Because it's going to be short form. It's only going to be about 10 minutes long each episode. And why did I choose 10 minutes? Because you have 10 minutes. This is the perfect time for listening on your way to work, while editing photos, your warm up at the gym, you're just chilling at home, or you want to do something that's more mindful than scrolling through social media. Why did I call it disruption, or why do I want to call it the Disruption in 10 podcast? Because I want to disrupt your day for 10 minutes. I want to make you stop and think and have takeaways from those 10 minutes. What am I going to cover? In a broad sense, it's growth mindset. I'm going to be focusing on how that relates to content creators and creatives. I'm going to share my experience with business, marketing, sales, and I think more importantly, the mindset required to do this successfully. I hear all the time people wanting to be content creators or self-employed, but the question I always have to ask is, do you have the stomach for it? Do you know what it means? And do you know what it's going to do to your mind to be self-employed? Are you prepared for that? The act of doing photography, video work, web design, graphic design, it's challenging, yes, but you can learn how to do it. You can go out there, you can research it, practice it, and you'll get better for sure. The process is much simpler. However, working on your mindset, that's harder. It's a complex thing. Your mind is a complex thing. No one will tell you, or no one can tell you how to think differently, how to change how you think, and then you just all of a sudden change or switch something in your mind, like on and off. It just doesn't work like that. Why is there this saying, fear of failure has killed more dreams than actual failure ever did? What does fear of failure have to do with clicking the shutter button on a camera or designing your next logo? From all the people I've talked to, it's not a fear of doing the action. It's something that they're fighting in their mind about what comes after you do the thing. What are people going to think? What if I'm not good enough? What if my client doesn't like it? How do I grow my business? I'm uncomfortable talking with people. I don't like selling because it doesn't come to me naturally. So when you hear that, what's common with all those fears and concerns? Well, it all resides in the mind. So it only makes sense then to strengthen your mind, grow it, build more confidence in yourself, and then the other things are going to be easier. So the next question though is, what are you going to get out of listening to this podcast? Well, to me, the disruption is a catalyst for change. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. If you're completely satisfied with what you're doing, well, stop listening now because this is not for you. However, if you feel like there's some room for growth in your professional life, or you're wanting some insight that may help add value to your mindset and self-development, then keep listening. And just so you know, this podcast is not strictly for creative professionals. The things that I'm going to cover can apply to business or brand or your brand. And so if this is you, then keep listening. Now that we got that out of the way, let me share with you why I want to do this and some parameters that I'm setting for this podcast. First off, this podcast is actually a large part of my goal to get better at speaking into the mic live or like through a recording. I've been a guest on podcasts before. I'm not happy with my performance. I don't know what it is, but when it's live or I know I'm in some type of recording, I have a tendency to say a lot of like and I don't know why I do it, but I want to be better in this area. So, and the interesting thing is if I'm having a chat with someone in person, I'm very confident and it just comes to me really naturally and easily. But the only way that a person can get better at doing something is to just do it more. And so it, then becomes just more natural and easier to do. In my podcast, another parameter I have is that when I'm doing this, it's not meant to be pristine. So I'm not going to be doing a ton of edits. I'm actually going to be doing my recording in one take, and I'm going to leave the ums and ahs in there as it is. And if I mess up, I mess up. And the point is over time, I expect my podcast to sound more refined and, because I would have had more time on the mic. Another parameter I have is I'm starting off with 10 minutes in mind for length, but depending on how it's received, then I'll work on it and I might extend it to 15 minutes and then 20 minutes and so on. Like the point is that I expect my podcast to evolve. And finally, as I get more comfortable with being on the mic, then I'll go into video podcasting as the next step. But one thing at a time. But let's get this thing going. I think other podcasts have no music in the background, but I feel like adding a bit of background music helps with the flow. There you go. I might keep it, I might not. I've been in the world of business, sales, customer service, the creative business for about 20 years combined. In this process, I've met amazing leaders, individuals, business owners, professionals, and other amazing content creators. From this 20 years of experience, I feel that I'm now able to offer my own insight and perspective in a way that I think would be helpful to the people that I want to support. And here's my first topic. You ready? Everyone will have a fucking opinion. Did that get your attention? This is actually something I wrote for my Urban Yeg community. It's meant to help you protect your mental health. You can make a post saying that you love apples, and someone will come along and comment, what about oranges? Do you have something against oranges? You can post an incredible photo that you shot, and someone can come by and comment, hey, I would have shot that at a different angle. Have you had that happen before? Here's some thoughts about the second type of comment. You didn't go out there to photograph whatever you were going to photograph, like a scene or a person, and you didn't go out there with this in the back of your mind thinking, hey, what would Mark, the commenter, think of it, and would it be pleasing to him? You didn't wake up today thinking, how can I do something today that will please Jennifer XOXO78 on Instagram? When it comes to creative things, everyone else would have done it differently than you because they are not you. That type of thinking that I would have done it this way is saying that they think that their way is better or that your way is worse or inferior. You have to consider though that it's just one person's opinion. You could do exactly what person A has suggested, but then person B comes along and then they have another opinion that their way is better than person A's. And then person C comes along and says to you, why did you listen to person A and person B? The issue is that it's just never ending. There's just always going to be a constant feed of opinions. And if you're always trying to please others when it comes to how you run your business, your creative work, the path that you've decided to take with your life, that will take a toll on your mental health. Everyone will have an opinion anyhow, so what matters most is what you think of your work or your decisions, and you stand by it. You'll lose your integrity trying to please everyone. You'll end up being upset at yourself for letting other people sway your creativity or swaying the decisions that you make for yourself. Another thing to consider is, who are these commenters to you? Are they paying your bills? Are they taking care of your family? Are they offering to mentor you and put in time and stand beside you to offer support and knowledge to help you succeed like them? If they're anonymous people to you that add zero value to your work, then why give any weight to anything that they have to say? On social media, you could spend hours replying to comments and trying to educate people about your post and defend your position, but if the end result is that you'll never change their mind, then why put all that energy to respond to trolls? If you're posting your own work, it's your own content, it's not harmful to others, then you have no obligation to say anything. I want to leave you off with this. Think of people you consider to be successful and happy with themselves, like content with where they are in their own life. Do they go around spending their time cutting down other people? Is the general tone of their comments negative? When you stop for a moment and think about the negative type of people, what they say and do is more of a reflection of how they feel about themselves and what they're thinking about, and then it is about you. Like, that's all negative energy. And people who are satisfied with their life, they're confident in themselves, and they're confident in their own work, they don't go around saying negative things to other people. They don't have time for that shit. Like, they're working on themselves, they're growing their mindset, they're mentoring other people, they're listening to my podcast. So protect your own mental health and consider that what matters most is what you think of yourself and your work. If everyone will have an opinion anyways, why give weight to opinions from people you don't even know? And even if you do know them, still focus on growing your own mindset, your confidence in yourself, and then it'll be easier to not let the comments bother you. And trust me, it's going to be better for your mental health down the road. Thanks for listening.